Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for a very special episode of the Moana Nui podcast. I know you usually see us on Thursdays, but today we have a very special guest that we're doing a special episode tonight. So we are looking forward for you to learn more about our guest. But before we introduce our guest, let me introduce myself. I'm Dana. I am a cosplay event and con staff photographer for such conventions as MomoCon, DragonCon, Anime Week in Atlanta, and even for DC Comics. I'm a voice actor, event planner, and a whole lot more. And now I'm going to hand it over to this other part of this dynamic duo, the founder of the Moana Nui podcast, the Dynamo, the extraordinary Moana.
Aloha mai kako, everybody. What's going on? I hope you guys are having a happy Monday and your week's off to a good start. Lord knows I already missed my weekend. But anyway, here we are today, and we're excited to be having this special episode to help this great and talented indie creator promote his most recent Kickstarter that's ending in a couple weeks. My name is Moana McAdams. I'm the founder and host of this podcast, author of the Adventures of Nakoa and Nohea children's book series, editor and publisher here at the Wildcard Chronicles and Burning Spear Comics, champion of hardworking people who are out here and need love up in this joint, love in a club. But seriously, though, we are always excited to highlight our indigenous, independent, African diasporan creators. And we're really excited to have our guest on tonight. So I will let Dana do the intro and we will get things moving.
All right. Our guest tonight, a computer engineer with Microsoft and have been in the technology field for over 12 years. Deji was born in Miami, Florida. He moved to Lagos, where he spent his adolescent years, and then moving back to Florida for college gave him an interesting perspective on different cultures. Deji have always written stories since his childhood, but took a serious path into writing for Tales of Our Own Tell Our Own Tales production, which aims to tell stories and concepts that are often overlooked. He is the writer and creator of O Kingdom Come, a gritty imagining of African kingdoms that struggle for power and control over the Nile. And now we'd like to welcome our guest tonight, Deji.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. We're so excited for you to be a part of tonight's show. And of course, we always start with our guests with their pico or their origin stories. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and how did you create your creative passions emerge?
Okay. Yeah, so I was born in Miami, family of five. I have four sisters. And when I was about 8 or 9, my mom was like, "No, we're going back to Lagos. That you're starting to get up in those years. They're gonna start causing trouble." So I was the only boy. So my dad was in Lagos. She was trying to open a like a African Disney World kind of thing. And so we went back around that time. So I grew up there from 9 to 18. I went to high school. I went to did an extension, which is the period in between each year. And I met my wife there, and I came back for college. And then I went back and forth every now and then, just to make sure I stay up to date on what's going on there. But my sister is a writer. She went to film school in Boston. She went to BU. and she got me into film and like good films. Oh, this is good, and like indoctrinated me. And I would always write her like, oh, what do you think of this story? Like just trying to impress her. She's my oldest sister. And she's like, oh, this is great, but I don't have $200 million, so keep writing. So I'd always do that for like my teenage years. I'd write her. And then she's like, you keep writing these huge, big budget stories, and I don't know what you want to do with them. So I wrote a short story late last year called Fatherhood, before the Kevin Hart movie came out, but whatever, called Fatherhood. And she's like, oh, this is really good. And she like actually shopped it around and it actually got picked up. They thought it was good. I was like, okay, so that was like validated that my writing's all right. So I took one of my more ambitious projects and turned it into a graphic novel. Um, so that's where O Kingdom Come started from. Actually, so somewhat inspired by my older sister that I was trying to impress.
That's awesome. I mean, older sisters always have that influence on us, and
They do, honestly.
oh, bless your heart, 4 older sisters. So where do you fall in like that, in the age kind of thing?
I'm
Are
the
you in the
youngest.
mid?
Oh no, I'm
You're
the
the
bottom.
baby.
Yeah, I got dressed up and
Oh
everything.
boy,
Oh, it was rough. Ah, it was
I
rough.
am picturing family photos right now.
Yeah, I'm the youngest one.
That's awesome though. Oh man, what
I can relate to that. I have one brother, and he's the youngest, but there's a 17-year gap between me and my youngest brother. So he didn't go through all the torment he probably would if he was much younger.
Yeah.
But if we were we're closer to each other. But I was getting ready to go on my way out the house, and my youngest sister was in middle school when he was born. So
Okay.
he got
For the
to skip
gap.
the whole dressing him up as a doll
Oh
and
no,
all that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
I got that in all kinds. I got doll. I had another sister that was super tomboyish, so she would like just use me for as wrestling practice. It was. I got my fill of a little bit of everything. It was good. It was entertaining. It was an entertaining childhood.
Yes, you definitely will learn the spectrum of feminine energy.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like it's not going to be dainty all the time. You're
Mhm.
going to have that whole spectrum.
Yep. I got a little bit of everything for sure.
Well, it prepared you enough that you didn't have a narrow mindset of how women should be by the time you met your wife, because you already
That's right.
knew there's such a spectrum of how women can be.
Yeah, my wife would be like, "Hey, you're crazy. Why are you chasing me? I'm crazy." I'm like, "Have you met my sisters? You're not even you're not even in the same stratosphere as crazy. This is light. This is super light. I can handle this."
I love
We actually did long distance for a long time that caused like all kinds of fights, and she'd be like, "Why are you putting up with this?" And I'm like, "This is nothing."
So how was that? Like you mentioned the long distance. A
Oh,
lot
that
of
was rough.
people have to that a lot of times can be a true test of of um of honesty of your relationship, but also communication, and then also trust at the same time of long distance. And a lot of people just said they're not made for long distance, and some
Yeah.
people it's a true test of your relationship if you can do it. How was that, and what advice would you give somebody who is trying to do a long distance
Oh
relationship?
man, this is a whole other thing. Let's do this. Um, so I would say it was definitely rough, especially being younger, trying to do it. We broke up multiple times, and then be like, "Oh, I can't put up with anybody else." Um, but I would say someone has to make the decision that it's not going to be fair on them. Um, if you really like love the other person, so one person has to make that decision. Either side of it. I don't know who's going to do it, but somebody has to make a decision that's not going to be really fair. So there was plenty of nights I didn't sleep because there was a 6 hour difference, and she said, "Can you stay on the phone while I sleep?" And I'm like, "Sure, I work at 5 a.m., but why not?" So little things like that go along the way until you can actually make plans. Try and meet up in the middle as often as you can. We went to Dubai a lot, and London, just to try and find something that's in between that we could both go to. And yeah, that's probably it's gonna be, you have to, it's not, there's no easy way to go about it, I don't think. It
Yeah,
has to be hard.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, like all relationships, but that takes it to another level
Yeah.
of difficulty when you're trying to do that. So that is amazing that, you a lot of people won't do that. They won't try to meet halfway or try to figure out how to work with each other's schedule, especially being that far apart from each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Hmm. It is. It was a lot, and I think it tells you a lot about like what your version of what love is. When it
Mm,
started becoming less about me and more about the other person, then I was like, okay, so this is like the real deal. So,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so
definitely.
yeah, so yeah, that's what I'd say.
Awesome. Well, how important is your own cultural heritage to who you are as a person and as a writer?
Oh, super. The Dejis from the Yoruba tribe. So that's a Nigerian tribe. Uh, and I got my father was really high up chief wise, so I was really in the culture a lot. Like, and it's when you like live somewhere for a few years, it's very easy to become a tourist in your own homeland. And I was
Mm,
really lucky that I wasn't a tourist, that I actually got to live there, and like actually like be a part of things, and not, you're not too what's the word I'm looking for, you're not too privileged to not experience things where everybody else is experiencing it. And I got that experience here in the States and in Nigeria, so I felt very lucky to get
mm,
that. So yeah, you'll, in that perspective shows in a lot of the way I write a lot of different things.
very cool.
That's very
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you.
Um, which is a great segue into the next question, because in our research, we had found that the three largest tribes were the Igbo, the Yoruba, and Hausa, which is pretty awesome that your dad was high up in there.
Yeah.
What are the three fun facts that our listeners should know about the Yoruba people?
Yes.
Ooh, the Yoruba people, super proud. A fun fact that I found out was the Domi were actually, and that's something that was really fun about writing this book. I got to dive into things that I didn't really know about my own tribe that I thought I knew a lot about. The Domi, which is what the Durham Elijah were based off of in Black
Wow.
Panther, they're actually, the Yoruba tribe's actually from the Domi tribe. Um,
Ooh.
so I found that out. That was really cool. And then they migrated from the Nile. There's the Yoruba tribe, which is from Beni. The Beni tribe actually migrated from the Nile to West Africa. So it's probably three
Wow.
fun things to know.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was really, diving into all that was like, every time everything was like, wow, like I'm getting more out of this than than writing the thing. So
Yeah, no, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Because when I saw that you were from Nigeria but you chose the Nile, I was like, I wonder how, he shifted his focus to the Nile versus like keeping it, situated within Nigeria. So that's really cool.
Yeah, 100%. So, and that's the interesting thing about the choosing the Nile. Um, I'm not really using modern day. I'm playing with a lot of the time zones. I had another person was asking me about how complicated that would be, uh, pre pre Assyrian, all that time. I'm playing with the time before that. And the when I spoke to like a lot of historians, spoke to like Dr. Renoka Rashidi, um, Dr. Barrister Pushy. He wrote the 100 African Kings book, and there's a lot of history along the Nile, but the shift that happened was really fast. So whatever
Mm,
happened was super fast, and it was like cataclysmic the way it happened. So that's the time zone I decided to focus on before, the normal things that people associated, like the pyramids and all that. So it'd be before all of that happened.
I love
mm,
it.
Um, so I get to play in a lot of that area where people don't oh, there's no pyramids here. What are you talking about? So I'm like, so it's way before. It's before all that. So that's what makes it. That's what I was really excited about, because the Nile always overflows back into the land, reaches all the vegetation, then it droughts out again. So I wanted to really play with all of that, that aspect of it.
Nice.
Oh my God, I love it so much. Like Egypt is
Okay.
like one of my favorite places. Like I've been in Cairo, but I want to go south, like to Luxor. You know, all the places like along the Nile. I want to do the whole boat thing.
Oh
But
man,
it's so fascinating. I'm excited that you chose before, because I know most people like gravitate towards the pyramids just because like that is just so central to a lot of, well, I mean, it's ancient, but like a lot of modern pop culture, you know, like you have no real end without, if you take Egypt away. My husband and I talk about this all the time.
exactly.
So kind of getting to learn more about like what civilizations led up to this, to me is really interesting. So
It is.
yes.
Because there was a lot of people refinding things and not knowing how they worked exactly, and that happened a lot over like hundreds of years. And then before you know, you don't even know what the original purpose of a monument was for. So
Right.
that's where that's going to be my playground for this series.
So good. I'm gonna check out that book. What did you say? 100 African Kings. Oh God, yes.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh, nice.
I'm geeking out over here.
Now, of course, tell us a little bit more about O Kingdom Come. It's the project you're currently funding on Kickstarter right now.
Yes,
The story incorporates several African kingdoms. Which kingdoms are you including in the story, and what did your selection process look like?
Oh, that's great. So that's where I kind of kept it a little fictional. So the kingdoms I used, I didn't want to. It's very tricky when we use like actual kingdoms and they're supposed to have like some kind of ill intent, and then someone from that tribe is like, "Hey, what's up with that? I didn't do anything." So the kingdoms will have identities that somebody from the tribe will be familiar with, but the names, like one of the in the lead up, the preview comic I put out, it's the Zari Kingdom, but there isn't a Zari Kingdom. But their clothing and their speech, the kind of weaponry they use, somebody from that tribe will recognize that that's the tribe that they're familiar with. While also someone that's not familiar with the tribe will be like, "Oh, cool, the Zari Kingdom." So that way, I didn't want to alienate any tribes by making, "Oh, these people are bad," or "These people are good." So I used the identities from different tribes around the Nile Valley, and I used them for the main kingdoms in this struggle. I used them as the process. Yeah. Because I think what was that? I think it was, yeah. So I think Black Panther was using Ghana Kente cloth for their outfits, and Ghana was like, "Hey, we didn't sign off on that. Where's our money?" So I didn't want something like that, and I think that also allows people that are familiar with the tribe to be like, "Oh, cool! Like we're getting a little bit of shine here as well."
Yeah, representation. Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting that you brought that up, because it's something that I think everyone is sensitive. Well, I won't say everyone. Indigenous people are sensitive to when we talk about, like, you know, the cultural aspects of things, and like not wanting to be too literal because you don't want to misinterpret and offend, but you still want to have enough in it so that when people see it, they're like, "That's my peeps." They're not calling us.
That's
but
right.
That's us right there.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was aiming for. Exactly.
Yeah, because I even now working on, you know, the second book in my children's book series, very similar. Like, I want to highlight specific parts of our culture, but I don't want it to be too close, so that people be like, "Well, you didn't really get the story right." I'm like, I wasn't trying
here
to.
we go.
I'm like, but
Here
who
we
has
go.
it right? Like, who really has it right?
Yes.
Exactly. I completely agree.
It's more to show love to us guys, really. I'm just,
That's right.
But that's awesome.
Thank you.
Let's see. So we talked a little bit earlier about, like you talked to some professors and doctors about the research that you did for this. Tell a little bit more about your process and like what is impactful and kind of inspired the direction you took the story.
Oh yeah. So yeah. So Dr. Rashidi's was really good. His books about how I think it's called etymology, how like the origin of things, and how over time it can be misinterpreted, and then that becomes a standard to another civilization. Um, so I definitely wanted to play with that aspect as well. And which other books? There's another book about the Egyptian and Sudan Nubian War. Like they were always at war, like just every Thursday or something. They were always in some kind of conflict. Um, there was also another civilization that we've lost what the name could be, that they used to come up the Nile. They would just come up the Nile, and yeah, and they had no idea what they're called now. They've completely forgotten what the name of them were. They were called the Sea Peoples. They would come up the Nile and wreak havoc, and then and then dip right back into the sea. So all of those things were all fascinating. Like there's so much to do with all of that. Like I could write seasons of like a pretty compelling show with all that. Um, so I wanted to play with all that. It was important for me to bring everybody into the world without hammering them outright. So I think the siege that I started with will help me expand more to talk about those other things.
Very nice. All of that
Thank
gets me
you.
so excited. So excited.
Now, there is a quote in your campaign: seeing a lion is different than hearing the roar. Tell us a little bit about the meaning behind that. And does your story incorporate the behaviors of lion pride and battles amongst the males?
Hmm. I like that question. Does it incorporate lion pride? I would say so. The lion, the eagle, um, the quote actually means it's supposed to be like a testament of seeing war is different than like experiencing war, or seeing this experience is different than
Yes.
hearing about it. So come in and experience it, rather than hearing from someone else about it. I think it's a Ugandan proverb. I wanted to make sure I got a little bit. I'm going to be dropping them in between the pages of the book.
Oh, nice.
And that one definitely stuck out to me. I have like 200 of those that I actually spoke to Wole Soyinka, which is an author as well, and he wrote. I tried to reach out to as many as possible, and he wrote me about 20. And I tried to reach out to other upcoming authors and get as many quotes as I could.
Ooh, that's awesome. You should totally make that like a supplemental and then like make another Kickstarter. Yeah, I'm just
There we go. Writing it down. Here we go.
Yes, Moana, between me and Moana, we'll give you some ideas.
Hey man, no, because this is my first one. So I like going into things like if I don't know what at least if I'm not completely sure what I'm doing, I like going completely ignorant. Like just
learning.
go completely and just like, and then you drop a gem like that, and I just take it and it's mine now.
No, because I think that could be super interesting, and that's something that you could market towards not just a comic audience, but
Okay.
kind of like from a historical aspect or just
that's awesome.
leadership quotes, like team building, like so many things that you could do with that.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, because a lot of just that quote alone is something like you can use for a leadership book.
Yeah.
That a lot of corporations, a lot of business people are always looking for books that give that extra guidance that is out of the ordinary that will stick with people. And
Wow.
and you probably always hear like someone always finds a quote and they use that or some kind of saying they heard in some book, and it becomes the go-to catchphrase for anything. Okay, are you below the line? That's coming from a book, talking about, if you are, above the line is, having, positive mindset, how you interact with folks. And then below the line means you're not up, not behaving properly. You are probably got, upset about something and you're letting it out on other folks and things like that.
That's amazing.
And things, it's just like, yeah, probably like just that quote in your campaign of seeing the lion is different than hearing the roar. That I can see that already being used in corporate offices. It's like,
that's
all right,
amazing.
are you seeing the lion or are you hearing the roar?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why I came up with the idea to do the quotes of our speakers too, because you never know where your quote might find you.
That's true. Wow, that's phenomenal. Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use that.
So don't be surprised if you're coming across and you're at like Microsoft or at a meeting and all of a sudden you hear, all right, are you seeing the lion or are you hearing the roar? Which one are you? And how are you stepping up to the plate?
I'm like, Bill, you just stole my quote, man. That's mine.
But then, they'll have like, okay, this quote came from "Oh Kingdom Come."
Oh,
and then you'll be looking around like, wait.
Hold on.
That's
did y'all back my campaign? I don't.
Exactly.
Wait a second.
Did you buy my book? So definitely take advantage of that, especially with such powerful quotes like that. Definitely, like, use that as your, supplemental Kickstarter to offer that as a of just quotes from, and then each chapter you can have chapters based on, quotes on leadership, quotes on live, quotes on, relationships and something, or it could be just strictly all leadership quotes or something and make it a leadership book, or you can make it a 4-part series, leadership quotes in this book, relationship quotes.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna be rich. This is
I mean, like I said, especially if you get into those leadership quotes or those working relationship quotes and stuff. My goodness, you probably could be like a motivational speaker and bring your whole speech is on, are you seeing the lion or are you hearing the roar? Which one are you?
That's amazing.
How to take the reins at work and in your relationship.
I love it. I love
it. Yes, this is the side benefit of being on our show.
Exactly. Now you see how it is with anybody that comes on our show.
I see it now. I can see it. Oh goodness,
that's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Now, in the logo that you're using to promote the campaign, showcase the different moon phases. How does that fit into O Kingdom Come? And what's the importance of that in the story?
There's a line in the story. It's very important. I can. All right. Yeah, there's a line in the story that the moon has many faces, but they always tell the truth. I gotta put that in my leadership book. Hold on,
there you go.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
So there's a line that's said in that, but the moon, it's something that's always been there through, even if some cataclysmic thing happened to civilization on Earth, the moon has been unchanged during this time. The moon has always been the same. So has importance through it that that's how they use it to tell time.
Right.
During that time zone, and Yeah. I don't. I guess I should. I don't know. I don't know how this part works because my wife was like, "You said too much." Okay, so
You just supposed to bait it,
bait it.
And then
dangle it,
pull it back.
and then take it back.
It might have something a little bit to do with reincarnating and stuff
Okay, okay.
along the
Okay, okay,
phases.
okay.
All right, that's all you got to say.
That's it.
Yeah, yes.
That's it.
But that whole moon thing, I'm seeing it right in that leadership book. Are you different? Are you showing different faces, or are you staying steadfast as yourself? Are you coming to work as your true, authentic self? Are you showing the different phases of your face, like the moon?
Oh man, that's it. That's going in there.
This
There you
is
go.
great.
That could be a whole chapter, and you
I
can
have
break
I have a
it
whole
all
other thing
down
now.
how that applies to your work relationships and leadership.
I love
How
it.
you need to be steadfast, being your true authentic self, and no matter what phase of life
Of the
you are
moon, it is.
in, you
Mm,
can always be your true authentic self.
yo. I might have to just be asking you guys questions from
I'm
now
just saying.
on.
See, this is the stuff that like people don't understand. Like we have this tier on our thing, like consulting with Moana and Dana. Like this is the kind
This
of
is
stuff
it.
we
Yeah,
do.
This is
yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah, when we
I
do
love
our
it.
Kickstarter, we offer a package like that people literally can book time and just get consultation with us and giving them ideas on building their Kickstarter,
Oh, that's
everything like that.
awesome. You
So,
see, that's the thing, and that's funny because I didn't know how to do this when I was starting out. I just like, okay, so I guess I'll just, like I said, I go in completely ignorant, ask questions where I can. Anyone that's,
mhm.
everybody's so busy with their stuff too. So,
Yeah.
There
so
is so many resources out there, and we'll be doing our next Kickstarter later in the year, and we'll be offering that package again. And literally, like if when you see it, I would just say grab it when you can, and
definitely.
then you will literally have me and Moana's undivided attention during that session, and you're like, okay, I need ideas to attract people to my Kickstarter. Moana will break it down. Okay, for your Kickstarter to make it look this way, what kind of wording you need to have, how you need to set it up, and then we'll give you ideas. Okay, these are the different tiers you can have. All
Wow.
that. Yeah, we will go through that, and just like how we're just spitting out stuff right now, you're going to get it the full throttle during
Wow.
that session.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. Yeah, it's been great. I've gotten a few people, a few creators that have been very open, but for the most part, everyone's kind of
Yeah.
busy and they're doing their own thing. But even the community is really great. They're really open to sharing, but I think it's just like everyone's kind of busy at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I would also recommend going into our backlog and watching some of our shows, particularly
Yes.
with like
yes.
because we have a lot of the big indies on this show. So Sebastian
Mhm.
Jones, DJ.
I watched Greg. I watched
Oh, awesome.
Acolyte. I
Yeah.
watched Justice.
Yep.
Uh, I watched a few of them. Yeah, I definitely
Mm-hmm.
watched a few of them.
Yeah, lots of
So it's been great.
knowledge. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. And if you
Definitely.
go right on our YouTube, you'll see, the last couple seasons of just knowledge from the different creators, what they gone through, especially when we talk to them about their Kickstarters. They'll give like, tips to anybody who is going into the process, things like that. So you'll find a lot of little nuggets with a lot of the different creators that's been on the show.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. And I'm
Sure.
definitely gonna look out for that Kickstarter too. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah. Get on our email list, and as soon as we get ready to announce it, our mailing list and anybody on our social media will get the first to know about it and say, hey, we're going, it's going to officially launch this particular month, and be ready.
All right, definitely.
Yes.
I'm in.
Speaking
Because
I'm
of
in.
we've had,
Kickstarter,
let's see, this past Kickstarter, we had like even people had a chance to get rare commissions with Marcus Williams doing actual
Wow.
artwork for them for their whatever project they're on. So he offered a couple slots, which is very rare, to get a slot with him, and also with Michael Watson, same thing. People got to be things like that. So yeah, you get to take advantage with our Kickstarter, getting connected to other indie artists and creators to help you with your stuff, and then of course having an option of also booking us to have a consultation with you. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
absolutely. Speaking of Kickstarter, let's pop yours up, and so we can show
Yes.
folks a little bit about yours. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get the right layout
Let's
here.
show it to them. There you go.
There we go. Okay. So let's see. Let's scroll through here. We hit our goal. Yes, we got 6 days left, guys. So please come.
All right, less than a week, everybody.
And check this out. So let's look at some of your art here, which is somebody. There's the moon. Let's talk about the moon. We got the warriors up in here, and then there's the quote that we talked about. Very nice, very nice. And let's show some of the art. So tell us a little bit about how do I say that? USA?
Yep, that's USA.
Okay, gotcha. So what? Yeah, tell us about her.
So Usa's from the Medu tribe. The original language from the Nile Valley Kingdom was Medu Neter. So she's from the Medu tribe. I thought it fit very well because there was this warrior that that people were afraid of, this African warrior, and they started because of her crazy hair, and they called her Medusa. And then in Greek mythology, it became Medusa, the snake-head lady. So I used a little bit of her backstory to create Usa. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And then we got a couple men here. We got Mawu. Is that what I'm saying? Mawu?
This is Mawu, the Moon Wanderer. So Mawu's he's a guy. He has albinism. He's they called him Moon Wanderer because he's pale as the moon.
Okay.
He's our frame of what's going on in the beginning. We see it through his eyes because he don't have a recollection of his past, and we find out why over the course of the story as well.
Nice.
Very cool. Now there's 3 marks on his back. Is there significance to that?
There are, yes, and stitches as well.
Gotcha.
So if you want to know why, back to Kickstarter.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. Oh, this one's cool.
Yeah, this is Hadaya. This is Prince Hadaya. He's also in the preview. His land was taken over by the next person, the king, that's coming up. But he's trying to restore his family's honor.
Okay.
Because he had to kind of yield to save his people.
Got it. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I know that story. I see that in our people too.
Yes. Often.
I hear the roar. Roar. This one's cool. He has a cool marking on his back too.
Yeah, that's for the Nubian warriors. They'll have
cool.
a tattoo on the back. Usa also has one.
Okay. So let's talk about the rewards. It looks like we have both digital and print. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So is this like a single issue comic? Are you doing like more of a graphic novel? Like how long is your book? Or at least for this particular
I suspect this is going to be a bit over 42 pages.
Okay.
And then this is for volume 1, and then volume 2 will probably be just as long, if not longer.
Gotcha. Okay. So kind of like a double comic.
Yeah. So I wrote this originally as a series, like a TV series. And when it was translating to it translates well because the way I write is very descriptive. Mm-hmm. But when I was translating this, the volume 1 and 2 ended up being 20 minutes of the first episode.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a long, and that's the part where it's sticking, depending on how volume 1, volume 2 with, and it's not like any filler. It's all like just in your face the entire time.
This is what yes. Action packed. Lots of details, lots of moving parts.
Yes.
All right, cool. And then so it looks like we got a book and a face mask. That's awesome. And yeah, custom face mask, very cool. Shirts, we gotta get the shirt swag.
Yeah.
We got hardcover. Oh, okay, so you got hardcover and paperback. Okay. And let's see, merch. Ooh, we got beads. Tell us about the Maui beads. What's that?
The Maui beads, that's the one that I was actually wearing. They're gonna have the carvings of the phases
Oh,
around.
cool.
Yeah, they're gonna have the carving of each phase of the moon around it. For the 14. Yeah, 14 beads.
Oh,
Got it.
nice.
Yeah, it's a really cool artist out of Rwanda that carves
Okay.
them. So doing it like this allows me to get African artwork over
Yeah.
without it being like the sticky customs way because of doing it this way. But
Gotcha.
yeah, so that part was really cool that I was able to figure that out because I
Nice.
was
Very
concerned
nice.
about that.
What's up, Tony? Let's see. And then, the immortalized where you can get your name engraved in the book. Oh, snap. Very, very cool. So
Thank you.
I definitely need to get my pledging. I will peruse as Dana and I always do. Like,
Yeah.
oh God, check the budget. Or to be like, oh, my wallet.
Yes. That's well, Moana knows like since the pandemic, my bank be kind of worried about me because she knows what like in the last 2 months I have backed 12 Kickstarters and my
Oh
bank is
wow.
like, excuse me, I'm not sure if this is fraud, but this month you had 4 Kickstarters transactions that hit your account. That's all legit.
That's all me. Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Let me go over. Let me make sure the amounts are right. Okay, you can, but I'm gonna let you know. Yeah, that's me. They're like, oh, okay. Thank you. We just wanted to make sure. Thank you for checking.
That's nice of them to call.
Yes, because not all banks do that. Some of them just let the fraud
They
roll
do.
in. I'm like, come on, y'all. Help a sister out.
Seriously.
Sheesh.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bank be like, whoa, wait. This is a lot of Kickstarters in the last 2 months. Usually we do one Kickstarter every month. Fraud.
Yeah, so definitely, guys, check out Deji's Kickstarter. It's right there up on the screen, and it's also in the
Yes.
comments, so you could just click the link. Appreciate your support for this project. Every dollar helps, to build the story, and of course, this is not something that happens overnight.
Yes.
Lots of hard work goes into every single project. And so, this successful Kickstarter will allow the next one and the next one. And before you know it, we'll be seeing his movie, live action film, animation. Who knows where this can go?
Woo!
But
Yes,
it all
please.
starts.
Put it in atmosphere. Put it in atmosphere.
Yes, but it all starts from the original IP. So definitely
Yes.
appreciate everyone's support. If you can share it, whether you share it or you back it, it's all appreciated. The indie community, every little thing matters to us. Like,
Exactly.
even if it's just words of encouragement, like
Yeah.
it means a lot.
100%.
Yeah.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So very cool.
Yeah. Now, of course, you mentioned earlier that you did some early or creative work before you dived into O Kingdom Come to, show your abilities to your older sister.
Yeah.
Have you decided to do anything with that works? Is that something that is on like your website that people can check those things out? Or
Of course.
and then what other things you have planned for the future?
Oh man. So the movie we're gonna be shooting it later this year. Because we got a producer on this summer. So I thought, oh, I better do this So Kingdom Come thing quick because, yeah, my sister is really organized and all that, so she was really able to keep me focused on getting that script out. But yeah, the father is really really good story. I like to like I'm very critical of like what I'm writing. Like even when I'm watching stuff, I'll like just oh no that sucks. Like because I just so if I can keep being critical of everything I'm watching and make sure that I don't release anything that isn't up to par. But that one's really good as well. It's about a father that he went through some trauma as a child, and it's stopping him from connecting with his child. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's he's trying to make a big decision that would help that he feels would help him connect with his child more. That one's really good. It's on tellourown.tales.com. I'm probably gonna change the name from Fatherhood because Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Kevin Hart. We wrote it. It's so funny. We wrote it, and that's one thing. I'll be writing something. And I'll like look. I'll like wait. Is this title taken? And I'll like get my Googles in. I'm like, okay, we're good. All right, everything's good. And this movie just came out of nowhere, and I was like, no. So, and that's something I was fighting with, even with O Kingdom Come. That title. I know the Kingdom Come is a very big series in DC, but it was just too fitting for the story. So I just was like, I can't let that one go. But like I wrote a story when I was like maybe 14 or something. That was about like a new sport that like had some underground elements that was gritty. And
Ooh.
I saw like rollerball on the TV one day, and I just threw the script. And I just threw it. I was like, nope, and I just got rid of it.
Damn you,
So,
Alita.
damn you. So yeah,
Everybody, if that doesn't sell you, if you come up with an idea or when you make your, come up with a name of your company, trademark it,
quickly.
register it so no one else can take it from you. Because, yes, if you don't do it, whoever has it registered first keeps
It's
it,
there.
basically.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah. And
absolutely.
Old Kingdom Come out with the moon phases being the O. I was just like, okay, I'll keep that. That's mine. So
Oh, okay.
so that's why I kept that one. But yeah, typically whenever I'm writing something, I like it to be like I want it to stand out because I already have an uphill battle of not having a bunch of marketing money. So I'd rather
Yeah.
make sure I come out with something substantial.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. So, question kind of like not necessarily related to your story, but what are some of your own favorite independent comics or
Ooh.
stories or movies or things like that?
Oh man. Oh, movie. Okay. So, stories. I love Justice. I read the first issue just after you guys interview. I'm like, oh, this is great. Okay. Um, movies. Weird one. I don't know. I guess it counts as an indie. I like Primer. I don't know if you've seen that. That's my favorite time travel movie.
Okay.
It's like it's super. I feel like time travel is really hard to do. So I like what they did with it. Because there's always going to be some kind of thing that you'll miss when it comes to a time travel movie. But I love Primer. Primer is like one of my favorite time travel movies. They shot it with like I think one camera or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was like two, maybe three guys and like a camera, and they shot it. Primer is really good. Uh, and what's another indie? I try not to read too much, especially if it's something similar.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm probably gonna dive into everything once this book's done. I'll dive
Yeah.
into a lot more. I'll be like, oh, yes, I can dive into everything.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes when you're writing and it's like, okay, I'm trying to keep my own original thoughts.
Hmm.
Like you want to get inspired by something, but then you don't want to like copy it too closely.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
But I love anything with like a good twist. Even recently, I don't know if you're watching Superman and Lois. Um,
No, I'm not, but
I'm not gonna say it then. There was a
no,
really
it's
good
fine.
twist.
You can spoil it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I will. I'm a binger, so like I can't do the like I'm gonna watch 1 week and I'm gonna wait. Like I have to
Yeah, I
do
hear
the
what
whole
you mean.
season. Give me the
Yeah.
I just wish they saved it for the end. I feel like it was more better than the long lost brother twist that they did with the. Yeah, I guess there's like a guy on there that's like his long lost brother from Krypton, which might be comic based. I'm not sure. But
Okay.
that one I wasn't a fan of. But what they did with this other guy that was supposed to be Lex Luthor on the show,
Uh-huh.
it's a black guy, and they're like, "Oh, hello, Mr. Luthor." I'm like, "Oh, Luthor's black. All right, let's go." Okay. So, but there was a twist in the middle of the season. Oh, okay, there's a twist in the middle of the season that is not
Spoiler
Luthor.
alert for anyone who
Spoiler
hasn't
alert!
seen
Yes, it's not Lex Luthor. It's not Lex Luthor. It's John Henry Irons. He like
Okay.
stole Lex Luthor tech. So, but
Okay.
so it was it was just fitting. I was like, oh, that's great because John Henry Irons is Superman on his Earth. So I love that one. That like a good twist. Like I'm like, I guess like like Lost days. When there was
it.
good shows and stuff like
Yeah.
Lost,
Yeah.
and I love a good twist.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's harder to pull off now because most of the big shows or movies are all based off of a book or a comic, and that way everybody already has the pieces, so it's harder to surprise people.
Yeah.
But a good twist, I love a good twist. Like this, well
But I
done.
think that's the beauty of comics and everything, because you even see it with Marvel and DC that so many people don't read comics, so they only see the movies, and which
Yeah.
we always see.
You already know what's gonna
people be
happen.
like, this. The people who only watch movies be like, no, 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 and the people who watch comics like, yeah, you're about to get your feelings hurt. You're about to get your feelings hurt. Go ahead and keep telling me that's not going to happen. Okay.
And I was telling my wife the same thing. Like they've created a whole other niche because it's like, the comic readers are waiting for the pieces of the puzzle to fit in.
Right.
And then the people that don't watch the comic, they're just watching it as new users. So it's this whole other part that it's completely theirs. Nobody else
Yeah.
can say that they've done that. So it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love a good twist.
Yeah. You definitely see that, especially in the Marvel world. How many people, especially when like Infinity Wars and
Endgame.
and Endgames came out, it was just like how many people was just like,
They lost? What are you? How do you mean
and
they
you're
lost?
looking at them and they're like, "You're all right." The credits done, lights on, and they're still sitting there.
He comes back, right? He comes back.
I'm going to protest, Marvel. This is Cody.
Oh no!
Why Captain America? No, he's not. No, Captain America, and it's like, it
actually,
sorry to hurt your feelings, but yes, Falcon becomes yes.
Yes, that's it.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it is.
It is. It's great.
My favorite is like, why are they forcing diversity? Well,
Technically,
they're not forcing it. It happened in the comics way before this movie was out.
I was even reading up on how the people in Marvel wanted Samuel Jackson to act as an actor, so they started writing the character as Samuel Jackson.
Nice.
And like even a panel said like, oh, if there was going to be a movie, who would you want to play? He's like, oh, Samuel Jackson. And then Samuel Jackson's like, did I give them permission to do this?
I mean, he's so iconic. So of course, if you're gonna have him as Nick Fury, you're gonna have a little Samuel Jackson s.
Exactly.
Yes. It's gonna be some screaming in that joint. It's some kind of screaming.
Exactly.
There's got to be a couple MFs that fly out his mouth. That quintessential Samuel Jackson.
Exactly. It needs to be.
Awesome.
Well, as we're getting close to the end of the hour, as we mentioned, when we get on here, it goes by really fast.
It's a temporal looper, so it's gone.
That's right. It's kind of whirl.
Like we've had people on here was like, it felt like only 10 minutes. What you mean it's an hour? I'm sorry, the infinity cube,
That's what it is. Yep. That's what it is.
we
I can
got,
see it. I can
you
see it
know,
now.
Moana got Thanos locked up in a closet.
That's right. That's right.
Smack him up. Oh man.
But of course, please, I know we're sharing a little bit in the comments, but we definitely want you to let everyone in the audience know how they can follow you, keep up to date what's going on. Of course, you're seeing at the bottom of the screen the link to his Kickstarter, but also tell everybody where they can follow you, keep up with what's going on with O Kingdom Come and any upcoming projects.
Of course, yeah. It's O Kingdom Come on all social platforms. On the website, you'll find the preview comic, and then on the Kickstarter, we just did a motion comic for the first few pages, and it came out really good. The voice actors that did it did a really good job. So, so yeah. If you look at the Kickstarter, you can watch the trailer for that. I hope you pick it up. It's going to be really good. Trust me, it's going to be really, really good. I'm excited for people to theorize and try and figure things out. I really love that.
Okay.
So
and of
yes.
course, once we get it, now you got to be ready for our indie collectors. They will, be like, after they get it in October, they're going to be like, here in November, hey, when's issue 2 coming out?
I'll get started on that right away.
We just want to warn you, because that's how a lot of our audience is, because Greg Burnham and Marcus Wynn can tell you, like with Tuskegee Airs, they literally will have issue 4 just came, be out, and all of a sudden, like not even 2-3 weeks later, they'll be at an event and they're like, hey, Greg, when's the next issue coming out? You just got the current one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Like, an addiction. When they get a good story, they're like,
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. For sure.
Absolutely.
So everyone, definitely please go to follow O Kingdom Come on both Instagram, Facebook, on Twitter. Their also the website is okingdomcome.com. And of course, you saw in the comments the Kickstarter. There's 6 days left. Let's really give some big support to this Kickstarter and definitely help it blow it out the water, because we're at made the goal, but we want to kick it past the goal. We got to get past the goal.
Absolutely.
Give it enough support to definitely make book 2, but also much more happen with this series, because you're already getting the tidbits to get you interesting. I mean, you heard Moana. She's salivating. She can't wait for this book. She's ready. She wants this book and the reference books that he was using. So,
that's right. I want quotes.
If Moana is salivating, it's a must-have. It is a must-have.
And look out for my leadership book. That will be coming.
Yes. The companion.
It's going to be a 4-part series. We're going to have one on relationships, one on leadership, one on being your best self.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. We are creating the backlist here. That's every book is set up for all the future success. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Now, of course, our everybody who's been commenting, as you know, with this current season, we will, if you engage in the comments, ask questions or anything, you will get a chance to be placed in a drawing for our Moana Nui prize pack. Moana, will you do the honors, ma'am? Here we go.
Doesn't choose us. Don't choose us.
Let's see.
No. We will spin again.
Quid pro quo here. What's going on here?
Let's go again. Come on, somebody else. We have to ask StreamYard for a way to remove ourselves from it.
Exactly. That we're not counted as part of the comment.
No! Come on.
Oh,
Come on, you can do it. Let's get one of our lucky winners. Come on, let's get a good winner.
Oh,
wow. The algorithm.
They're literally getting every
It's
one
rigged.
of our platforms.
It is rigged.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I don't know what's going on tonight. Come on, pick Jay.
Really
Yeah, there we go.
J-Man. All right,
Oh my God.
J-Man, please go ahead and message Moana on her messenger so we can get your contact information to send you your prize pack. And thank you so much for everybody tuning in tonight for the special episode of the Moana Nude podcast, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it on the replay. Thank you so much for tuning in, and definitely support on the Kickstarter. There's 6 days left. 6 days left for you to get your copy of O Kingdom Come. Yes. Definitely go to Kickstarter and back that. I've made my pledge, so make yours.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Now I will ask, and Moana knows this. This is a thing of mine. All right. So when you get to my order, I would like for you to autograph my book.
All right. Got it.
Thank you.
My handwriting is really bad, but
that's all right. I've been every
typing.
Indie artist to autograph their stuff, and I literally have a special shelf of all my indie comics and books, and I want to autograph like how people would get Stan Lee and anyone else to autograph from Marvel, DC. I want my indie artists and creators to sign their stuff too, because I want to have it that a few years from now, when I see you on television walking down the red carpet for the world premiere of O Kingdom Come with, Elvis Alba playing, and you got The Rock in there and everything else, and I'll be like, I got the first book. Look, I got an autograph, and I got the first book. He was on our show.
The Moana Nui podcast.
That's right.
Yes. We want the special invite. They're like, let us cover it first.
Yes, of course.
We'll be right in the audience with our little microphones. All right. How does it feel?
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of tonight's show. Everybody, once again, definitely follow it's in the comments. Definitely follow O Kingdom Come, and also go to the Kickstarter. 6 days left. Let's back it and support this project so we can hear more and learn more about these African kingdoms we get a little bit of history with a little bit of fantasy.
That's right. I like that. I'm gonna steal that one too. Let me go ahead and write that down here.
It's nothing but gems here. It's nothing but gems.
That's right. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful
for coming on, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in. If you found value in tonight's show, please hit the share button and subscribe to us on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And we wish you guys a great week. On Thursday, we will be broadcasting live at 7 p.m. from Social Burger in Vienna, Virginia, which was one of our restaurant highlights from AANHPI month. Dana and I will be together in person.
In the same place.
Exciting.
That's right. So tune in this Thursday for that. And then at 8:30 p.m., we have Lee Shorten coming on. He is an Australian actor
and director.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're excited to have him on the show. He was on one of our panels in May, and we're excited to get to know him a little bit more closely this week on our show. So I guess until then, please take care. We appreciate everyone's support, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.